listening to I Am Refocused Radio with your host, Shamaya Reed. This show is designed to inspire you to live your purpose and regain your focus. And now, here's your host, Shamaya Reed.
Hey, welcome to I Am Refocused Radio. We are here once again. And today, just like any other time we have another show, we have our special guest, Julz Vitality. She has a website you can go to, prjulz.com. We're going to learn everything about her business, about her being a business coach and visibility expert, and also a show host and community leader. So first and foremost, welcome to the show this morning. How you doing, Julz?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to this conversation.
So before we dive into what you do now, kind of paint the picture for the audience. What was the beginning journey for you, like when you decide I want to be my own boss and do your thing as an entrepreneur?
Great question. Well, I think most of the entrepreneurs, unless they were super lucky and had a good example from their parents, they probably dove into entrepreneurship somewhere along their corporate career, and so did I. And through this series of unfortunate events, multiple traumas, some violence, I was put in a state of depression, anxiety, and confusion. And that resulted in me hating my job and thinking, I don't belong here. There is something greater out there for me as I was going through my healing. And little by little, I actually started interviewing people, while taking a lot of courses online as well on personal development. And as my mindset was changing and as I felt more confident about myself, my skills, and having some value to offer to the world, I felt like I was called to spotlight other entrepreneurs and coaches. And that's how I started. I started interviewing life coaches. And as I was interviewing them, they were healing me with every episode. It was like my personal therapy, my personal coaching. And as I was doing that, after a few months, I noticed that I was in a way better space mentally, and I was attracting more business coaches to my show. And they were teaching me things, and I was also taking more coaching on the side as well to grow my business. And then the next thing was people were asking me, are you a business coach? You're giving me all this amazing advice about my coaching business. And I said, no, I'm not a business coach. But I had to own it one day because I had to realize that the amount of knowledge I had combined between my corporate experience, all the learning I've done and interviews I've done, it accumulated to the point where I was unknowingly providing coaching to people. And then I just had to step up to the plate and call it what it was.
Every entrepreneur, they want to know more about how to grow their brand, how to reach more people on social media. You have expertise in multiple areas from branding, organic social media marketing, and business growth. What are some of the strategies that you see continuously help your clients, even though obviously you had to tailor-made it for the client themselves, but what are some of the strategies that you see is a core value for across the board?
Yeah, so let me kind of draw a big picture first. I look at an online business and visibility in general as an iceberg. So what people see above the water, they see your visibility efforts, you showing up online, on stages, speaking. But what they don't see is the underneath the water, your business. And that has to be in place because what I find is a lot of people go speaking, they show up, but their business is either broken or it's like a leaky tub. They bring some people into their business, but they leave because that foundation underneath the water is not solid. Right. So both of those things are super important in having an online business, or any business really, because even in traditional spaces, you still need marketing and you still need to put yourself out there. And if you're not attracting or not, inviting new eyes to look at your business day after day, week after week, your business will decline, slow down, or die. So it is so important to concentrate on both of those segments of an iceberg, as an illustrative way, both on the visibility efforts, the branding, how you show up online, and also the business foundations. And I started teaching more business foundations as I noticed that a lot of my speakers, who I assumed would have a well-functioning business, They didn't. They didn't even know who they were serving. Okay, so let's just kind of go through the must-haves, right? And maybe for a lot of people, it's going to sound old. Maybe they've heard it too many times. But unfortunately, keeps coming down to the same thing. And some people who are in business for years haven't done the work. And when they start doing the work, they often pivot because they realize they were doing it the wrong way. So what are the foundations? Your avatar, your ideal client, knowing who you serve. And I don't just mean, an age group, gender, or whatever. It's just literally putting yourself in the position of that one person behind the screen who's consuming your content. We're talking about online business now, or your marketing offline, right? Are you speaking their language? Are you speaking to their pain point, their fear, what they're concerned with at the moment? For an example, somebody who's looking to lose weight and they're browsing through their social media and they see a lot of commercials. Oh, buy this diet, buy this equipment, da, 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 da. And then, for example, they see a person going, oh my goodness, I just lost 5 pounds and I'm sharing with everybody how I've done it, right? So that kind of content would appeal to that person. They would stop scrolling because you're not salesy, you're not pushy, you're appealing to their pain point, you're being authentic, you're sharing something that works. So understanding your content and how to appeal to your client at the moment of them looking for help is super important. And what I teach my clients and the community in general is use the free AI tools to help you do that. I spent one weekend talking to ChatGPT, helping me identify my ideal client, creating their story, writing down the bullet points of their pains and fears and the transformations that they're willing to go through. So it's super important to start with that. Your branding has to correspond to how you're serving that client, what gap you're filling, what transformation you're offering, right? It has to be attractive to that client at the point of them having the need, because timing is also a thing. I have one of my clients as a fertility coach. Not everybody's going to have a need for natural fertility solutions all the time in their life. It will be one probably point in their life, probably one, because once they resolve that, it's going to be healed. But what happens is when you position yourself as an expert in the field, you also attract qualified referrals. So if you are not, for example, experiencing the need for holistic fertility, but you know somebody who's having trouble to conceive, you will automatically align the person who's producing the content and maybe somebody you know, and you're going to go, yeah, I got to forward this message or this post to this person who has a need, right? So it's so important to be clear about who you're serving, that even the people who are not your target audience are going to want to share that information with the people who are your target audience. So clarity is key in branding, okay? Consistency is another element that's missing with a lot of people. When they show up online, you look them up, and on different platforms, they have different pictures, sometimes different names. On one, they use their personal name. On another one, their business name. Their content is not professional. They often put too much personal content on their professional social media. And then when somebody's trying to figure out what the heck is this person, what's their profession, what are they doing, like what services do they have, and they have to dig to find that, forget it, you lost them, right? So consistently showing up online with the same message, the same brand, I would say similar imagery so people can visually recognize you. It is super, super important. So consistency. Execution is another problem I find with a lot of people. They consume a lot of educational material. So we go to webinars, we attend summits, whatever we do, we learn, we overlearn. And then I ask these people, okay, well, how much of that did you execute? Or even coaching, right? They hire coaches and they learn from coaches. And I'm like, well, how much of this have you actually executed? Or how much progress have you seen? Right. And people say, oh, well, nothing, or, well, I don't have the discipline, or I don't have the time or consistency to implement. So I'd suggest to everybody to book off time on a weekly basis. I do my coaching calls on Monday morning, and all my coaching clients are recommended to book an hour or two after that call so that whatever you learn, you implement. Just like that, if you take a class, if you consume whatever piece of educational content, commit to executing 1 to 3 to 5 little things you learned. Because if you don't execute, you wasted your time, you wasted your money. Yes, you increased your knowledge, but if you don't do anything with that knowledge, you're not going to improve. Just like that with coaching. If you go and work with a coach and 2, 3, 5 months later, you look back and you haven't made any progress. Yes, maybe the coach, sorry for the expression, blew sunshine up your dress, maybe made you feel good and more confident. But if you look at your business or your life, you haven't actually made any tangible progress that you can track, fire the coach, take a break, pause that membership, whatever it is. Because if something's not working, you have to be strong enough to make a decision and cut the ties or put the pause on it and do something that actually does create consistent progress, 1% a week, whatever it is, a little traction every day going upward. And it is not going to be always an upward road, not always a smooth road up. It is kind of like a zigzag chart. But as long as you are on that positive momentum, on that increasing the slope going upward, you're in good hands. So those would be, at least 3 observations that I have that are common to the people that I coach who come to me, people I know, speakers I work with, people in my communities. They all have these 3 challenges that are the most common I find out in the entrepreneur space.
We're talking to our guest today, Julz Vitality, and you go to our website, prjulz.com. You also have a YouTube channel and Facebook page with Positive Impact TV. If you can, kind of share with the audience how they can be inspired by watching those episodes and take that content in as the boost of motivation.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm also huge in mindset. So I share a lot of information with people that will help them have a different mindset in terms of looking at not just their business, but also their life. Again, consistency in their daily routines, how to build our own vitality to the point where we're motivated to work on our business, finding what it is that inspires us every day to get out of bed and keep plowing through that day, that week, even when it's maybe not so easy on certain days, taking care of your physical health, mental health. I'm a huge advocate on vitality in general that live up to my name. And Positive Impact TV continues bringing my own content and my interviews with others that are successful in the online space or are amazing individuals who have an inspiring story. I do a lot of streaming. So on my YouTube channel, you go to the stream or live tab. That's where a majority of my content is. And because I usually, if I have events online, I just stream them, any kind of workshops, anything like that. So you just have a record of that there. The workshops I produce are premium quality. Those are usually very expensive courses that people do. I don't do the half an hour of the story and half an hour of the closing pitch and then 5 minutes of content. If I do an hour-long workshop, it's value. You need to pause, execute, have 2 monitors and implement. You'll find stuff like what kind of social media profiles work, how to build every single one of them, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, how to use Facebook groups, how to build your own Facebook group and utilize Facebook groups of others to get in front of new eyes and new audiences all the time, how to use collaborations, how to use networking events. What are they good for? I host events, at least 2 events every month, free for people to attend. So you'll find all of those events, all of that information on my website, prjulz.com. I welcome you guys to grab a gift that's there for you, how to get to influencer status overnight. A lot of us struggle with multiple ways. How to do it slowly. Yes, there's lots of ways to do it slowly, but if you want to do it fast, there's definitely lots of ways using PR and media. And we have that nailed down. So if you guys are ready for that, then definitely grab that gift. On Facebook, I also introduce beautiful other community leaders. So my goal is to kind of spread our influence by collaborating with, show hosts, community leaders, anybody who's creating a positive impact in the world, because I think united we make a greater change. We impact more lives. So anybody who's listening who wants to come forward and collaborate, please do jump on a call with me. I would love to meet people in the space of personal development, business, just becoming a better individual and creating greater impact in the world. And thank you so much for everybody who's listening, because I know that you guys probably listen to a lot of shows and a lot of episodes and podcasts, and a lot of people just go off and talk about their story and blah, 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 and it kind of gets boring. And On my channels, you'll find nuggets that are super valuable, and you will move the needle in your business just by implementing those tips in those free workshops. So go ahead and grab them.
In 2024, we're in the second month of the year. You have also events that you do for networking for entrepreneurs, and tell us a little bit about what you do on the first Tuesday every month and what's the goal with this networking opportunity.
Yeah, so it's a speed networking pitch party. So everybody gets an amount of time, depending on how many people join. We have between 30 to 90 seconds for a pitch. We give them a pitch formula. People go and pitch to everybody. We provide them with feedback. So me and other co-hosts that are professional coaches, we provide them with feedback on how effective that pitch is. And then we break them into small groups, and they get to pitch to one another. And they get to polish that pitch, because what happens is we continue with the same elevator pitch and we don't know how effective it is, because it either gets accepted or rolls off somebody's back. Okay. But when we are in these small groups and we ask people for feedback, we get that honest feedback. We go, I didn't understand that. That word didn't make any sense to me. Why don't you try saying this? Well, this was too complicated, or this is jargon, or this doesn't speak to me. Why don't you try this? So we come out, the feedback we get from these parties, networking parties, is that people come out with a completely different pitch. They go, oh my goodness, I had no idea what I was saying wasn't resonating with my audience. And what I'm saying now is now working for me. I'm getting more engagement on social media. I'm becoming more successful because I'm now speaking the language of who's listening to me. So it's not just an opportunity to network. It's also an opportunity to perfect and polish your pitch. We also share all of the contacts, in a networking sheet, so that you don't have to take care of the chat, looking for names in the chat. So it's easy for you to connect with people who attend the event. It is incredible. It's every first Tuesday of the month, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
If someone listens to this right now and they want to find out how they can be a part of this, what's the steps for them to take action and make that move?
Yeah, the links are all on prjulz.com. You will find the speed networking events there. So every month we refresh the links because of the Zoom connection that's different. But every month, if you go in there and grab a new link, then you will be able to come and join.
What has been the feedback with people who finally, the light bulb comes on and the brand is starting to take off? What's the common feedback that you're getting from your clients?
Yeah. So, for example, when we did I recently released that AI for coaches, for coaching business, how to use AI, not just to create your avatar, but also how to create your offer, how to fill your events. It's on my YouTube channel. It's called AI for Coaches. And one of my clients actually did the work, because you don't just, get results from watching the video. You actually have to go and do the work. So she did the work, and she said normally she would get like 2-3 registrations for her workshops. She filled her workshop within hours after doing that work, after knowing who she's speaking to, after using AI to help her create that event, create the flyer for that event. She filled that event in hours. So that's the difference of knowing who you're talking to, fine-tuning your message, and knowing which tools to use. A lot of them being free, like ChatGPT. So definitely, whoever's listening, that is a video made of gold. 20 minutes is going to change your life. How to use AI for anything you do in your business.
We're talking to Julz Vitality. You can go to our website, prjulz.com. You being a show host, a magazine publisher, and business social media coach, do you combine them together, or do you kind of keep them in their own lane?
It's all together, because all of these media channels are visibility channels. So the reason why I have multiple platforms is because we are different types of learners. Some learners are audible, right? They listen to podcasts, for example. Some are visual. They go to YouTube or, social media. Some people like to read. For those people, content that is more text-based, including blogs, including digital magazines, would be more appealing. So we're trying to get the majority of learning styles covered in delivering our content. So the content itself is very similar. It's often from the same people that I showcase, or myself, but it is delivered in different styles in order to basically serve those different learning styles.
Part of growth is also being patient. A lot of times people want microwave success. I know that's always put in podcast shows, microwave success, air quotes, but it's true. We kind of want things to be done yesterday as far as results. I mean, for example, this show, I'd say all the time I get a chance, but we started in 2017 in the barbershop, and it just blew up over time. And part of success is being patient. What are some of the strategies you help with clients as far as this is a long-term game? This is not like in 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours, you're just all of a sudden going to be going viral.
Yeah, absolutely. That is a great point. Well, consistency and having some sort of system for execution is part of that as well. So patient, but also consistent, because if you just give it time and you don't do anything, nothing's going to happen. So combining the two together and making sure you're always working toward some sort of a goal or an objective. I'm not that huge on goal setting in terms of, big numbers and certain, and this year I'm going to make six figures, anything like that, because those often put a lot of mental pressure on us. I look at it as more of a lifestyle goal. Okay, I want to be able to, work 4 hours a week or a day, let's say 4 days a week. And I want to be able to travel, let's say 4 weeks out of the year. So those are the soft goals that I help my clients set instead of having more like hard numbers. So having a joyful journey also creates a little bit more of a patient environment, because if our journey is stressful, well, we just swapped our career to our business and we became our own worst boss instead of our own best boss. Because when we were in a corporate world, we had somebody dictating all these milestones and deadlines onto us that was creating not just mental and emotional pressure, but probably the desire to rebel. So there is a balance in creating a goal that motivates and inspires you versus a goal that stresses you out. So I'd start with that. And then when you are intrinsically motivated from within, when you want to get out of bed and work on your business, when it doesn't matter what time of day it is, that you're enjoying what you're doing, it becomes so much easier to enjoy the journey and be patient because you are doing what you love every day, right? Measuring your results. Again, not being super diligent and going and checking all the numbers and conversions and open rates and getting obsessed with that. That stresses people out as well. But kind of just, checking in and going, okay, well, hey, I did grow my following. My following was this and now it's this. Amazing. And giving yourself, a round of applause, recognizing that you've moved up. And maybe you haven't achieved a financial result you were expecting by this time, but look at all of the other stuff. Look at all of the underneath the foundation of the business that is now so much stronger, or even the visibility part that's above. Have you been showing up consistently, but again, in a joyful way? Because a lot of content coaches overwhelm people to the point of, like, I had one client, he spent 3 months on a coach, paid a lot of money, and his content got reviewed several times. He had to redo it. He was so stressed out and all he was doing was creating content. And I said, okay, great. In 3 months, how much did your following grow? He said, I gained like 14 new followers. Right? So that's what I'm talking about, measuring results. If something is working, do more of that. If something is not working, do less of that. Pivot, be flexible in adopting new strategies and dumping the old strategies that don't work. Just like the algorithms change every day, we need to kind of flow with this online world and not get stressed out. Some of my people, their profiles get blocked. They lose their groups. They get hacked. Whatever happens, well, you know what? Let it be. Let it go, move on, rebuild. We need to adopt an attitude of resilience, of phoenix, right? Rising from the ashes, because in business, it's just reality, right? So when we assume these attitudes, that's why mental attitude and mindset are so important, because as an entrepreneur, you can't just sit and relax and follow instructions from your boss. You need to take charge of your life, and that takes a lot of work. And that's one thing that people start realizing as they enter the online or business space in general, is it's a lot of personal development that reflects on how well you do in business. So do the work on your own and on your business, and that patience will come naturally, because you will understand the realities of life. You know, it's just part of everything in life, being patient. You know, a seed takes time to germinate and then sprout and then grow. And if you don't water it every day, it will die. Just like that is any business, any relationship. So we need to have that attitude of a life cycle. Everything has that life cycle, and we need to just give it time and nurture it and water it so that it can become the best thing it can be.
We've been talking to Julz Vitality, and when you, as we wrap this up, when you look at the current trends that are going around social media, do you kind of like follow those trends, or you kind of back off and say, you know what, let's not get too deep into these trends and let's kind of be a pioneer of our own?
Well, I'd say there's a balance in that. For example, about a year ago, Instagram changed their algorithm drastically, and it became a lot less effective. And I hear that as a confirmation from other experts as well. So even though it still offers reels to people who are not your current followers, that is the advantage of Instagram. Okay. So any video content like a reel will be offered to new people. So that is free marketing, basically, that I would totally recommend everybody taking advantage of. However, Facebook actually does that better these days, where previously Instagram was really strong at that. Facebook now offers your reels to a wider audience. It just has more data points that it collects from people, because people will join communities on Facebook. So Facebook knows where their interests lie, even if you don't identify any interests. So Facebook Reels, especially if you connect to the two accounts, the Facebook and Instagram, and you cross-post between the two using Meta Suite, that can also help you pre-schedule a lot of your content, combining that with AI tools, generating, for example, 1 month or 1 year, if you want to, of content, and pre-scheduling it through Meta Suite can take so much off your plate in terms of creating content and being consistent on social media. Consistency is still rated very highly by platforms, whatever platform it is. If you don't show up on it consistently, it will offer your content to less and less people, whether they are your followers or non-followers. TikTok is becoming more of I'd say business-friendly platform. Previously, it was one of those things that it used to be like for entertainment, right? People used to consume content for entertainment. However, now there's more and more business content on TikTok. Also, YouTube Shorts are amazing because they also are offered to people who are not your audience. So all of the platforms I just listed, the same exact piece of video content, a 60 to 90-second reel, you can cross-post on all of these platforms without taking any extra time. You can copy-paste the description and the hashtags, and there you go. You are omnipresent with the same exact piece of content. So this is just a quick tip of how to, a few shortcuts on how to get the same piece of content in front of multiple audiences, multiple platforms. Different people have their preferred platform, but they will find you on the platform they're on.
We've been talking to Julz Vitality here on Refocused Radio, business coach and visibility expert and show host, community leader. You can go visit her website, like we said throughout the show, prjulz.com. Before we let you go, if there's someone listening right now and they want to connect with you, what's the best call to action? And if there's any events in the future that you want to plug?
Yeah, I would just say on prjulz.com, you guys have all of my social media icons right there. One click, you can connect to me. Follow us. We always have free events, monthly summits, lots of fun stuff. We do virtual lunch parties. We just love connecting with enthusiastic people or people who are looking for some inspiration, motivation, please join us. I have a community on Facebook as well. That link is also on prjulz.com, or you can look it up. It's called Positive Impact Circle. Everybody's welcome there. If you go to the guides section on that Facebook group, you'll find a library of resources that I mentioned to you. All of these trainings and seminars have been recorded there for you. Enjoy it. Grow your business. Let us know if it helped you. I hope you picked up a few tips that you're going to implement in your business. Book a call with me. I'd love to meet all of your listeners, guys. A great show, by the way. Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed this conversation so much.